Okay, so whenever you do a search on a computer, what you're doing is a query. So for example, when you're on Facebook and you're searching for other people called John Smith, you're actually doing a query saying, I want other people called John Smith. If you're using a database and you want to see all the customers in your shop who have bought a black sweater, that is a query. Whenever you're in Google and you type in, I don't know, chickens, and you bring up all the websites about chickens, that is you performing a query. Whenever you type in yahoo.com, you're basically saying, I want a query to get the IP address of yahoo.com. So there we got that out of the way. Now there are 3 different ways we could get the IP address. And that's called, as already explained, name to domain name resolution. So think about what resolution means. Name resolution. Okay, and there are 3 different ways we can go about it. Number 1, we're on our computer. We type in yahoo.com. It goes to the resolver. The resolver doesn't know, so it goes to the root server in England. And the root server is like, yep, this is in my jurisdiction. I know about it. It's in the UK. But remember, there are a set amount of these servers around the world. So the one in the UK is like, yep, I've got it. It's all cool. I'll help you out find it. So then it goes to the different places. It goes to eventually the name server. The name server then passes it back to the resolver. And that is the correct IP address. The second, we have our scenario again. We type in Yahoo. It then goes to the resolver. The resolver's like, I don't know about it at all. Then goes to the root. For example, the root's like, uh-oh, this is out of my jurisdiction. I don't know much about it. Someone in the past has gone on this website, and I can tell you that in my cache, I have an IP address for it. Resolver, remember when that happened? And resolver's could be like, oh yeah, I remember that. And then the resolver will pass it back to the person. So the root in the UK, let's say, doesn't have it. The root in the USA doesn't know where to find it. But the root in the UK has tried to find it before. It's gone through the process and has an old IP address which is in a cache. Now that address might be out of date. So let's say that Yahoo changed servers. That address will be may be out of date. So it might not work. And the final is basically what you saw from the complete last step video, which is basically if the domain name of the query is remote, then the query is sent to the root server, which then provides the address for the name server, etc., etc., etc. So the most important facts for this is what you read. If the domain is under the jurisdiction of the server, in the right country, in the right place, then the correct IP address can be found and sent back to the computer. If it's not, and it's in a different jurisdiction, then they still might have an IP address, but that IP address might be out of date. So it's stored in a cache. And finally, that's when you talk about all the steps from the last video. There are 3 different ways in which you can find an IP address using name resolution. Name resolution. Key.